Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and in this episode of the Typical Manga Review, we will be going through One Piece Chapter 787, 4 Minutes Away. And for our cover picture, we have Oda doing another fan request, which is Zoro and a bear playing the taiko drums while wearing a hoppy and headbands. And it looks like Zoro actually broke his drum if you look at the picture closely.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing it through his drum.
Yeah, I mean, he's using... Yeah, he's really powerful at this point, come on.
And he's using hockey to do it, so...
Yeah. Of course he's going to break it.
Yeah. And this chapter is pretty much... like I said, with this chapter, we're at the start of a 10-minute requirement for Luffy to regain his hockey, and Sabo has Jesus Burgess on the ground. I like the fact that here that it's like... he pretty much introduces himself as Sabo of the Revolutionary Army, and Luffy's his little brother. You got something you want to say to him, Burgess? It's like...
Is Sabo older than Luffy?
Well, he's about the same age as Ace. If you remember, at the end of that flashback, Sabo's last letter was like asking Ace which of them was the older one.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the chief of staff, the Revolutionary Army.
Yep.
So he's a big cheese.
Yeah. One thing I do like in the next bit here is like Sabo points out that the Blackbeard pirates are pretty much directly responsible for what happened to Ace, but he also points out like that was Ace's life, that was his call. I'm not going to hold a grudge against you for that. But from here on out, I'm watching Luffy's back, so tread lightly.
Yeah. And then Jesus just comes out and attacks him. So
yeah.
Oh, and he recognizes him from being Lucy in the Coliseum.
Yeah, like he pointed out, like he tells Sabo he doesn't have any business with him, but then Sabo points out, on the contrary, I think we do have some personal business, and lights up.
Yeah. And then Luffy's like, "Oh, you did eat it." So, and then Sabo's just like, "Yep, it was a memento of his, and I'm not gonna let anyone else have it." So, I mean, it seems right that if anyone was to succeed Ace's abilities, it would be Sabo.
Yeah, I mean,
Luffy can't do it.
Right, because he's already got the gum fruit.
Yeah.
And they pretty much attack. And in this panel here, does the Sabo dodge, or does he just like get busted in half Logia style?
He gets busted in half Logia style.
Okay, as does the building behind them, and even some of the people running away.
I forgot. How did he master the techniques all the techniques so quickly? I mean, like literally, the moment he ate it, he was like, "Okay, I'm really awesome with this thing now."
Well, I think he still has the trouble with the fine control, but like the big stuff he can do just fine.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just passed on from like techniques or mental techniques that he probably learned from the Revolutionary Army or training on the dragon. Yeah. And then he uses the Blaze Dragon King technique, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the Fire Fist combined with his hockey dragon claws. So
yeah. And everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
Yep.
I want to ask one question though. It seems that it obviously implies that Burgess Jesus is collecting devil fruit powers.
Yep.
I'm wondering, is he giving them to the crew, like the Blackbeard crew, or is there somehow they have the ability to hold more than one devil fruit power?
I don't know. That might depend on just how the whole process works. I think. Like, can he even like preserve a power that he takes, or is it strictly taking a power for himself?
Yeah. It's really confusing because because it seems like they take the power, but can he give it to other people? Because otherwise it would just be weird if Jesus, it turns out they can, or the Blackbeard crew in general are able to actually hold on to more than one ability.
Yeah, like one thing that a deer I saw kicking around here and there, that devil fruit shaped bag he's carrying actually has regular fruits in it, which I think the idea is like they can maybe absorb the power or become the next devil fruit after they kill a devil fruit user. So it's not. So it's like the idea is that they're actually trying to manipulate where the next devil fruit appears.
Okay, but they can't hold more than one though. I mean, because you have two devil fruit powers, that's not possible. That's supposedly.
I mean, they could have flunkies by now for that sort of thing, like sort of like how Kaido's doing with his zone devil fruits.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time though, you have to direct it somewhere because you can't have Jesus carry two of them at the same time. How is he transporting it? How is he transporting the powers? Does he turn it back?
Well, like that.
The fruit?
That was the theory. That's what the theory was about. Like they're turning into the fruit so that they can be transported together.
I must have missed the part.
Yeah. Because I think I forget myself right offhand, but I think we saw it in Punk Catcher with the slime. Like so he died or broke apart and everything, and then a fruit took on like devil fruit patterns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think they were making artificial fruits. So it's wasn't that the candy factory though, or
that might have been. Yeah, I don't know if that particular fruit was artificial or not right offhand, but the one that made the slime powers come alive. But
but the Smile Factory is artificial.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go back to Luffy, and basically the Gats is like, so that was he basically finds out that was that Sabo was the Lucy from the finals, and basically says, "Hey, that's cheating."
Like, it's against the rules, but what's done is done. Besides, I'm glad one of you got to inherit the powers of your brother. So he's actually touched by the whole brotherhood of it all.
Yeah, and he's still running away with Luffy, but he sees from behind him that Doflamingo is basically beating up everyone.
Yeah, but he is wobbly by now. Like, he is wobbling. Like, they've got the little sound effect around him for it, but
yeah, you could see like people like being swung around by, I guess, the strings of the buildings.
Yeah, like by his awakened powers.
Yeah. And he's just really pissed off. He's like, I don't need stamina to deal with fodder. At this point, I can't believe that even with this, even with all these guys, Doflamingo being really beaten up is still able to take them all on without much of a problem. It's crazy,
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone's right now trying to hurry to the center, and
the people running away from the birdcage are meeting up with the people who are running away from Doflamingo.
So it's just really weird. And then we go back to Kinemon and what's his name again?
Kanjuro,
and who's the other guy?
Kinemon, Kanjuro, and if you're talking about the third guy, that's Zoro.
No, I mean no, that's the other guy. What's the white haired guy's name again?
Kanjuro.
Okay, that's who I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and Zoro is basically trying to use his own hockey and swords to just push the birdcage back or slow it down. And everyone's like shocked at the very idea, but Zoro points out that no matter how impossible it seems, that in the end this is still the work of one person, like Doflamingo. I mean, it's crazier to think that it can't be stopped.
You know what I just noticed? Zoro hasn't been injured at all.
That's a rare thing on here.
Because he dominated against the Pika, so he's fresh to go. Like whatever he's planning, he's going all out.
Yep. And so is Frankie right here. He's recruited to Tontada. And they've got basically what they're doing here right now is like they're taking the Smile Factory from Dressrosa and just pushing it against the birdcage too. I mean, since it's made of sea stone, the birdcage is not going to cut it.
Yeah, which is actually a really smart thing to do. Although one would have to say how much strength you need to push it back, because you have to be hella powerful.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that we're gonna get the entire city to basically push that factory.
Yeah, or at least the idea isn't so much like to stop the birdcage, but I think it's just slow it down, or if not push it back, then slow it down enough to give Luffy the last few times.
But I think it'd just be a really cool moment if the entire city would help in pushing it, because it's just like a team effort. It's a big team effort.
I mean, I don't think it really contribute much beyond what the Tontada are already doing, though.
Yeah, but even more people, it's still the more the merrier, right? So there you go.
And Robin and Viola are pretty much reporting into each other, and Robin's surprised that they're doing it, but at the same time it isn't surprised because that's just like them to kind of come up with something like that.
And then there's still assholes, man. There's still guys who support the Don Quixote family, even with all this bullshit. Seriously, he just turned on you guys. What the hell?
Yeah, well, these are like the flunkies in the first place. Like these guys are loyal to Doflamingo from the beginning, and they've got pretty much the center area kind of taken care of, like where they think they'll be safe.
Didn't Doflamingo basically just said screw you to all of them by using birdcage? Right?
They may not realize that, but it doesn't much matter anyway because they soon get taken out by the gladiators.
Yeah, everyone's back. Like everyone, the giant Bartolomeo, the guy who can kick stuff, and Don Chow, everyone. Because as it turns out, Princess Mancheli has chosen to help them out with her ability, heal them.
Yeah, as a means of trying to prolong Dressrosa as much as possible here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this one part of the end here. Like the very last panel, he's like Sai's pretty much like calling out to get the men to help them, and wouldn't even announce his strength to come help them. And you see Baby Fives like, yay!
Yeah. Anyway,
I hope they get the next cover story.
Wow. So anyway, we're going to the next last two pages, and basically it's a summary of basically what's happening. Oh my gosh, Birdcage is coming. King Riku's hearing all of their cries, you know, and
Doflamingo wanting to flush Luffy out speeds up the Birdcage.
Yeah. Sabo's fighting Jesus. Frankie's saying push to the Tontadas for the to hold back Birdcage, and Doflamingo's like wherever you are, come out wherever you are, Straw Hat.
Yep.
Rebecca's doing something.
We also get a view of Fujitora.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Frankie's telling the Tontadas to push.
Yep. Well,
he's cheering them on.
We also get Admiral Fujitora in there, like a brief glimpse of him.
Yeah, as I said.
Rebecca's doing something. I don't know what, other than running somewhere.
She's running.
Okay. And then, like I said, this is the part that I really like about this chapter. These very last couple panels, because number one, we learned that Oda has learned from the mistakes of Toriyama.
Which is
how long did 5 minutes take in Dragon Ball?
Oh yeah.
But this one chapter is 6 minutes.
Actually, I have a question. Obviously the anime made it seem like forever, but how fast was it in the manga?
It still wasn't one chapter. I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you exactly, but it's still a pretty decent amount of time.
Because I mean, chapter speed can be a lot slower though. That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
mean, and that's right. I fully expect the anime to drag this out when they get to it themselves.
Yeah.
But it was still a pretty decent amount of time. I want to say at least maybe 5, 6 chapters, maybe minimum, maybe a bit more.
That's actually better than Bleach, because there was a point where Bleach was like literally 10 chapters, 10 seconds. So
But
that was bad. But
and then the last part of this that I really liked was like they point out that the time left until the birdcage reaches the center and pretty much slaughters everybody, 3 minutes, and the time left until Luffy recovers his haki, 4 minutes.
okay, so that means he's not going to make it. So how are they going to do this? And that's what they point out. My guess is that either Luffy's going to, somehow make a way to, find a way to speed it up, or the actual more logical way is that the 3 minutes is actually at this point, but with everyone pushing, it may extend it a little more.
Right, like I said, they're going to buy those crucial few seconds because, like, at this point, this is how you kind of raise tension in a series like this because we know the good guys are going to win. We know at this point, Doflamingo cannot win the fight.
Yeah.
He can't. So the attention isn't so much will he win, but how will he lose? Or how will Luffy win?
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. Like, we know something's got to happen, and what's it going to be? Go on,
and maybe we get to find out what's underneath those glasses.
I know, those things are almost as powerful as Aizen's chair.
Almost.
Almost.
We don't talk about the chair, Nothing can compare about the chair to the chair. Nothing.
First rule of the chair, don't compare to the chair.
Yeah.
Anyways, yep, and like I said, that's the chapter right now. Like I said, what I'm wondering is what I kind of expect here. Like, we'll probably get one more chapter of the time limit kind of running down. Like, we might see like the final moments run out. Doflamingo might wonder like why the birdcage hasn't killed everyone yet, and we'll see like Luffy or Zoro, Frankie, and them actually successfully slowing down the birdcage to prevent everything. And then the chapter will probably end with Luffy getting back his haki and getting ready to launch his final attack on Doflamingo.
I'm not gonna lie though. I mean, even if Luffy can't make it, I'm sure Zoro can at least hold him off for another minute. I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't expect that because usually the Straw Hats don't interfere in each other's fights if they can help it. Not until the fights are already lost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to, but I'm just saying. At its dire worst, it's not. It's like we don't get that. Oh my gosh, they're not gonna make it. It's like no. If it really comes down to it, we could have these guys help out. And even though the fodder can't help too, I'm sure that some of the gladiators from the Colosseum could hold off Doflamingo for at least another 30 seconds.
Yeah, like Bartolomeo and them. I could see that for sure.
Bartolomeo could hold him off forever. I think. Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, if Doflamingo can control strings of other things, he could probably attack from behind or something from behind the barrier anyway.
Well, he could make a box.
Yeah, and it could be possible for Haki to break through the barriers too.
Possibly, although that's kind of cheap. I always feel like to beat those types of techniques or types of powers, I prefer the tactical way. Like how do you trick them into doing something stupid? Find like an actual weakness, which was that Bartolomeo cannot make long barriers or like long barriers.
He only makes so much barrier at a time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's been consistently said that armament Haki is the one thing that can break through devil for use powers.
Yeah.
So it may not be easy, but it might be doable. Like Sabo, for example, could do it.
Yeah. I don't like it when that happens because I just feel like it's one of those things where it just powers through. I just kind of I want the tactical. I want the smarts behind it. I want the intelligence of how to beat these guys at their own game. Rather than just be like, oh, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, I'm done.
Yeah, and then like I said though, but like I said, that's pretty much my own prediction of what's going to be happening here. Like next chapter will probably be more time stalling or time buying. Luffy will recover at the end, and then last chapter will probably finish the fight. The chapter after that will probably finish the fight.
I want more Bartolomeo.
At most, maybe 2 chapters of stalling, just so it ends on 790, because the big stuff usually happens on like the 10th chapter.
Yeah, and the fact is, Oda doesn't do the whole delaying thing. Like he doesn't. It's gonna end within like a few chapters. We're not gonna. It's not gonna be 20 weeks from now and be like, holy shit, it's still just ending. Or no, it's gonna end very soon.
He kind of does delaying here. I mean, the fact that Luffy's in this 10-minute predicament in the first place is delaying, but at the same time, at least he's working it. He's running with it. He's like putting it all together pretty well.
But what's happening in each of the chapters is still a lot. You got Sabo, you got the Gladiators coming back, you got Zoro doing his pushing back. Yeah. There's a lot of shit happening. They're not just standing and talking or standing and doing something that doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
A lot of stuff is still happening. We're still getting entertained. So even if it's slowing down just a bit in the next few chapters, a lot of stuff is still going to happen. Because remember,
there's no question about that.
Yeah. And we still don't even know what Becca's doing. So there's that too.
Yep. Yeah, she's got something going on there. I don't know if she could actually be a good choice for stalling Doflamingo because she's got her speed, nimbleness, and observation hockey. So she could be a good choice for that.
I just realized something. Even though Bartolomeo can only use his barriers in terms of not much of it, like he can only use so much of the barrier ability. Can he use it in a way to help out Zoro in fighting Birdcage?
Potentially. That might be. That could even be what they're getting ready to do right now.
Or arguably, because Birdcage is shrinking, it actually is better for Bartolomeo because then there's less of Birdcage to cover or to defend against.
That's very true.
So the barriers will, can still actually make up for what the Birdcage can do.
That's very true, actually. You got a good point there. Well, I guess we'll be finding out here next week or two. But in the meantime, that's been our review of One Piece 787, 4 minutes away. Go ahead and, like I said, if you like our reviews, give us a comment, like, and or subscribe. And in the meantime, go ahead and take us away.